Hey guys, I'm Grestar, and how about we watch RWBY Volume 4, Chapter 2, Remembrance. Of course, make sure to click here to go to the official release first, like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and then come back here and we'll watch it together. And before we begin, I'd like to give a shout out to Majora, so thank you Majora for supporting me on Patreon. Glad you like this show. It's a good one. So actually last time, at the end of Chapter 1, there were a few things that I neglected to talk about. And one of the things you might have noticed was at the very end, when it was going through the intro, and I was all like, oh, interesting. Like, it was right at the very end of the intro, I found something quite interesting. And what was interesting to me was that I couldn't remember a time during the intro where we actually saw Team RWBY all together. And they were kind of together at the very end, which is where I said interesting, you know? But even then, while they were on screen, like, all at the same time in the same location, they weren't together, you know what I mean? Like, they were all separate, they weren't like looking at each other, they were all just kind of there. And so it really, you know, like, part of Volume 4 is right after everything happened. You know, we get to see the results of all the terrible stuff, and they all kind of went their separate ways, you know? And so the intro is still kind of pointing out the fact that it's like, yeah, stuff is bad, they're still not together, like the namesake of RWBY, you know, Team RWBY, RWBY, they are not a team right now. So even the intro was like emphasizing that point. So I don't know, I found that part interesting. So I talked about the fight too, with, you know, Team Junior, Ranger, and oh, by the way, Ranger apparently is a color. People pointed that out to me in the comments, where apparently it's a kind of green, like a shade of green. Yeah, I found that interesting. And while I didn't necessarily question other team names like Team Funky, like what color is that? It was mostly because the reason I only questioned Ranger being a color was because, you know, they were fighting over whether to pick Junior or Ranger, and he said that Junior wasn't a color, and so that was why I was thinking like, well, is Ranger a color? I don't think so, but that's the only reason I pointed it out, and apparently, yeah, it's a color. Who knew? Anyway, though, yeah, about that fight against the Geist, I think it was called, that had possessed like the stones and everything. I kind of just commented on how, like, it seemed kind of obvious what the weak point is, but even I pointed out that I was abiding by video game logic, where I wouldn't or shouldn't expect them to as well, because that's fighting in the real world where, you know, your thoughts can get all jumbled and whatnot. And video games, well, they actually do exist, but, you know, you don't think in real life as you would in a video game. Anyway, the point that I wanted to make here was that I did really enjoy the fight, especially I went back over and watched it again, to see just how closely they worked as a team, even though RWBY was kind of adopted into that family, you know? She was definitely a part of it by that point. And it's good to see Shion, you know, strategizing for the team still, and just how they all worked together. It was good, you know? It was just good to see that kind of stuff. And for it being an intro fight, you know, like the first fight that we really get to see at the beginning of a volume, like, I think it deserves more credit than I had initially given it, because it did a really good job of saying, like, hey, these are, like, you saw the characters way back here, well, this is where they are now, so we're not gonna do, you know, give you something super flashy or complex. We're just gonna show you, like, what we think you need to see, you know, what we think you need to know. And so, you know, I appreciate it more after watching it a second time and thinking more on it, and I just wanted to let you guys know that. By the way, for some reason, when Nora is like, when, you know, she's arguing with Ren about which name to use, and she's pointing out, like, JNRR, you know, like 3, 1, I just really like her hand gestures and like her hand movements, her gestures. For some reason, I just really liked that part. Like, it was so smooth to me and everything. I don't know. But I did. I'm trying to think of what else I had to say, because I know, you know, there was Jean, and I recognized that the medal was from Pyrrha. I didn't actually recognize that the red sash was also from Pyrrha, but that's a thing that I believe now. I didn't notice, but someone pointed out that one of his shoulder guards was gone, which I agree is kind of weird. It's more stylistic, I think, than actually beneficial in combat, but I could be wrong. I'm not familiar with, like, that kind of, you know, medieval garb or whatnot. But what was the other thing I had in mind? I swear there was one more thing. Well, aside from the farmer boy, who I have no idea who that is, it doesn't strike me as the thing that I wanted to say, but I guess I'll mention that I'm not going to be surprised if at least Emerald, okay, so at least Emerald, add less Mercury, and quite possibly if all three of them, you know, including Cinder, leave at some point, or kind of turn around. Maybe not to be good guys necessarily, but not bad, you know? Especially Emerald, though, like I said, because she seems the most kind of shocked, almost distraught a little bit at the end of Volume 3. And then I could just see Mercury kind of going with Emerald if she were to leave, because I feel like they've been through a lot together, and I feel like they're closer than they are with Cinder. That could be wrong. And just with how close the three of them are, I think that if they both left, maybe Cinderwood too. Not so much, but I don't know, I just wanted to point that out because it seems like a possibility with how they're, you know, behaving. Like we got to see when, at the very beginning, they're looking out the window toward like all the Grimm and all the nasty stuff going on, and they just look completely shocked, so... I don't know, but that's the thing. Alright, maybe if I remember the last thing I wanted to say, I'll say it at some point. But for now, I think that I've wasted enough time, so with that, let's get to watching. 3, 2, 1, play. That just started right in there. So we have Rooster first, presents, then you see all the colors fly off. And they all kind of go into their own little locations. And yeah, I can see that now. Yeah, Jean only has one of his shoulder guard things. It was weird. And you see Crow, the Crow flies off and then he's standing there. Yeah. And I had to assume that that was Weiss's, like, brother and dad. And it could be Blake's family. And I am glad to, I don't know exactly what that whole thing means when she sees herself with her other arm, like both arms and everything. But before that, I like to think that it's her learning to fight with just the one arm. And again, I'm really looking forward to really looking forward to seeing / hoping that Yang does actually learn to cope with it, you know? Yeah. Also, I know it's kind of past this point, but when Blake is about to get hit by Adam and she has that look on her face, I'm not entirely satisfied with that look. And again, look, there, all four of them, they're together, but they're not. Anyway, she doesn't look like as shocked to me. There's something about it is odd, I don't know. Hello, Weiss. Long time no schnee. Wasn't that clever? It just popped into my head. I didn't even mean to do that when I said hello, Weiss, but then it was like, you have to now, you are obligated. So I did. I wonder how much detail I missed by talking about that.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
A pleasure to see you out of your room.
Is that genuine, or are you mocking her?
Hello, Whitley. You're
Crap,
not
what was his
cheery
name? I missed it.
today.
I was talking.
Klein made crepes for breakfast.
What do you want?
I heard
They are
Father
very
shouting
flowy.
at someone in his study earlier.
Mother?
No, she's already drinking in the garden. I think it was a man. I just wanted to warn you. I heard he had asked to speak with you.
I'll be fine.
I know you will. You're strong, like winter.
You never liked winter.
True, but you
Yeah?
can't deny her resolve.
You seem different.
And you've been gone. I'll have you know I didn't stop growing while you were away at Beacon. Anyway, good luck with Father.
Goodbye, person who might be named William.
Thank you.
Maybe we should call him Willy Billy anyway. Oh look, there's the happy family. Winter does not look happy at all in that portrait. What the heck? But yeah, that animation was super flowy. Oh, that's weird. I thought Jean was going to be the one having that nightmare, but no. Also, remember in the early volumes when RWBY was like white? Like white. I literally mean white, you know?
So the next town is...
Hey, they got their map.
We're lost.
We're not lost. The next town is Shion. My family used to visit it all
Oh,
the
good.
time.
Oh yeah. Don't you have like 4 sisters?
7. Ha!
7.
I remembered.
You know, that actually explains a lot.
Wait, what do you mean?
So, what did you guys do there?
Oh, all sorts of stuff. Over here is a great hiking trail, and over here is where we went camping all the time. I got my own tent because I was special. Also, so my sisters would stop braiding my hair.
Didn't like the look?
Yeah, they just kept doing pigtails, but personally, I think I'm more of a warrior's wolf tail kind of guy.
That's just a ponytail.
I stand
That's
by what I
right.
said.
Jean, you are a powerful, independent man.
Guys?
What?
Oh. Not positive.
There could be survivors.
Over here.
I mean, the smoke was still pretty fresh, right? I mean, still billowing, so...
Huntsman,
What happened? Who killed all of these people?
Bandits.
Uh-oh.
The whole tribe.
A whole tribe of bandits.
And with all the panic. Grimm.
Well, that makes sense. That sucks, though, like, tragedy begets tragedy, you know? One thing happens, leads to panic or hate or anger or something, and then Grimm come.
Yeah, Red and I can take turns carrying him.
I don't know if he'll make it.
He will. He has to.
If we get going now, his chances will be better. I can run ahead and look for help.
Guys,
Already? Oh man.
Should we bury him?
We should go. It's not safe here.
Ren,
And that's rough. I mean,
it'll be
even when you don't
okay.
do anything wrong, you know?
I'm just tired of losing everything.
Oh. Is that a giant Grimm? I wouldn't think that was one of the, like, elephant ones, but...
Talking about the good of my company. I'm talking about the good of Atlas, our entire kingdom.
That is a
Maybe
load of garbage, and
you
you
could
know
knock.
it.
I beg your pardon.
Jacques, will you please just hear me out?
He has facial hair
You are
now,
a
right?
trusted friend and ally to this family, James. But what you're suggesting is absurd.
You are blowing it out of proportion.
The council will never agree to it.
You forget. I hold 2 seats on the council.
Whoa. That's a
Your
big
dust
chair.
embargo has already cost me millions. I can promise you I have not forgotten.
So this is about you. Mishni, my apologies. I should have been gone by now.
It's okay.
We'll continue this at another time.
Indeed. Klein can show you out.
Don't worry, I know the way.
Doesn't Klein mean little
Until
or
next
small
time.
in German?
Please know, you'll always have a home at Atlas Academy, Mishni. We'll be back in session before you know it.
Well, that's nice of him. All the others are just kind of left to wander. Now the beacon's
Did you
gone.
forget your manners while you were away?
No, Father. I'm sorry.
Can you believe there are still people in the world that blame Atlas for what happened to Beacon? To Vale?
That is pretty sad, actually.
Well, they weren't there.
To wonder Ironwood wasn't stripped of his rank. I suppose the council trusts him, for better or worse.
I trust him.
Thanks to him, Atlas is forbidden from exporting dust to other
Oh,
kingdoms.
wow.
A precautionary measure, as he
That is a
puts it,
big deal.
until we're certain no one is going to declare war. How anyone could possibly find that to be sound logic is beyond me. Which is why the Schnee Dust Company will be holding a charity concert in the coming weeks.
She has to sing again?
We need to show the people of Remnant that we are on their side. That we are all victims of the fall of
Of course,
Beacon.
yeah.
That's wonderful news.
I know. And I think it would make a lot of people happy if you performed at the event.
I knew it!
Excuse me?
Many forget that you were there. My own daughter, a Schnee, on the grounds defending another kingdom. We need to remind them. And we need to show them that the Schnee family is just as strong
I mean, that
as
actually
ever.
is a good PR move.
Are you asking me if I'd like to sing or telling me?
I think it would make a lot of people happy.
Avoiding the question.
I'll start practicing.
That's my girl.
Okay. Glad we had this talk.
Hot coffee, Miss Schnee?
Is there any other way to have coffee,
I
Klein?
always find he keeps his study dreadfully cold.
Well, he seems like a happy man, at least. Well, at least
Thank you,
kind.
Klein.
Maybe not happy.
You know what I think?
No?
I think it's to balance out all his hot air.
Okay. So he did change his eyes, what the heck? I wondered about that, but couldn't say for sure.
Ah, there's my happy
And again.
snowflake.
Thank you, Klein.
Cat's making little noises. We all heard that, right? Okay. Is his stuff talking to him then? Oh no, okay.
All
I
right,
was like,
Sean.
what?
Just like we practiced. Follow these instructions. Shield up. Keep your grip tight. Don't forget to keep your front foot forward. Ready? Go.
He's like
Again.
Link. Ooh. Ooh.
And again. Okay. Now, assuming you aren't cheating, we can take a break. I know this can be frustrating. And it can feel like so much effort to progress such a small amount. But I want you to know that I'm proud of you. I've never met someone so determined to better themselves. You've grown so much since we started training. And I know this is just the beginning. Jean, I want you to know that I'm just happy to be a part of your life. I'll always be here for you, Jean. All right, Jean. Just like we practiced. Follow
That's
these
sad and
instructions.
sweet.
Shield up. Keep your grip tight. Don't forget to keep your front foot forward. Ready? Go. Again. And again.
Yeah. I do like that part. Like I said, it's sad but sweet. Yep. Whitley! I think that was his name, the brothers, instead of William. Whitley Schnee. Whitley. That's an interesting name, alright. And it might, maybe that's the dad, I don't know, but I'm gonna say it's not. Probably should have listened for the dad's name, maybe it was spoken. Oh well, it's Mr. Schnee. I can get behind that much at least. Alright, cool. So, this episode is over, and now it is time to talk about it. Alright, so first I just want to say that this show is really pretty. It really is, you know? Like, it's... I do think that it made a difference switching from Poser to, again, whatever not studio, software that they're using now. And I think that it was a good change. On top of that, I'm sure is, you know, an increased budget, increased staff and stuff. But I'm just trying to say that it paid off, I think. I think it looks really good. On that note, however, sometimes the characters are very, very flowy, especially in the Schnee household, to the point where I thought it was like comical almost, you know? And the issue with that is that I'm not sure whether it's intentional or not. I mean, Whitley especially, and you know, Weiss too and everything, it's just all like really bouncy, you know, like which, you know, smooth animation for sure, but again, I have to wonder, like, is it supposed to be kind of funny, or is it just like, is it just kind of funny to me because I don't know, it struck me that way. I don't know. So overall, I definitely say it's good. There's just that little thing, that little facet of it, I guess, that caught my attention. So I don't know, take that for what you will. But yes, the last part was Jean and Pyrrha. Like I said, again, I'm gonna say it again, sad but sweet. It's just really nice to know that, you know, Jean does have something of Pyrrha, you know, more than just like the weapons and armor and that kind of stuff to carry with him. You know, it's bittersweet that he can like still hear her voice and get that encouragement and everything. And I'm glad that Pyrrha had recorded that for him before she, you know, bit the dust. But yeah, I'm also wondering at this point why RWBY especially has those nightmares, and they're clearly recurring nightmares. And I wonder if other people are too, but it's not, we don't see that because, you know, RWBY is the main character, at least at this point in time, that's where the focus is. Or if it is only happening to her. And if it's only happening to her, I wonder if it's only happening to her because of the Silver Eyes thing. You know, if it has something to do with the fact that it was Pyrrha's death that triggered the Silver Eyes in the first place, you know? Because I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I don't think it was just, I mean, of course, all the stress played a part of it, or a part in it, but I think it was mostly the fact that Pyrrha died and RWBY was too late. I think that's what triggered the whole Silver Eyes thing. Whatever that is, but the thing is, like, I don't know what exactly Silver Eyes means, and no one does at this point, so, you know, we're all speculating right now. But I think that if RWBY is the only one who's having those recurring nightmares, even though I'm sure Jean is to some extent too, and quite possibly the others, that could be why. That's just, again, me throwing out some speculation, but it came to mind, so I figured I'd share it. So now, I thought that Weiss's father was a little odd. You know, he was talking about how, like, can you believe that some people still think that Atlas is the cause, you know, or whatever, the cause of what happened at Beacon? But then he was also saying he's surprised that, or thought that, what was his name? James Ironwood, right? Yeah. That he wasn't, like, demoted or fired altogether. I don't remember exactly what. But I'm like, okay, wait, if you don't think that Atlas should be held responsible, then why do you think that he should be, you know, like, adversely affected? Because, you know, either he did it, and therefore he should be adversely affected, and, you know, Atlas is responsible, or he didn't, and Atlas should not be held responsible in the way that it was. You know, because, like, sure, Atlas kind of was responsible just in the sense that they had all of those, like, you know, robots and everything there, and they were turned against them, but that's just, you know, that just happens sometimes, and, you know, not to say that it's perfectly alright, but it's like, there's only so much that Atlas could do. Like, it wasn't their fault that, you know, they were attacked, and their ship was hijacked, and everything was hacked from there to turn the robots. You know, maybe there could be stronger countermeasures, but, you know, hacking is hacking. Like, pretty much, I'm gonna say anything could be broken into with the right know-how and enough time. So, you know, I thought it was kind of weird. It seems like Weiss's father was a little bit, you know, flip-floppy, but I guess that's just the politics of it for you. And, you know, I called Weiss singing, and I honestly, I mean, admittedly, I do think that it is a good idea to have Weiss perform during the charity event, because like he pointed out, you know, she's kind of a representative of not only, you know, Atlas, but the Schnee family, and she was fighting on the side of Beacon, on the side of Vale, so I think it totally is a good move. Now, I do wish that he had asked, but, you know, it just goes to show a little bit more of his character that he didn't explicitly ask. However, he didn't explicitly, like, demand it either, so, yeah. And what's up with Klein and his eyes? They kept changing. They changed at least 3 times, because I didn't think they were red initially, but then, you know, he did that thing, and then they were red, and then they were blue, and then they were like this yellow-orangey, and then they went back to blue, I think? But maybe they didn't go back. But they were at least those 3 colors throughout the course of it, so I don't know if that's his semblance or something, you know? It was just kind of odd to me. So, I don't know. I know that I end a lot of what I talk about with I don't know, but that's because a lot of what I'm saying is either like trying to remember stuff which could well be wrong, so I'm pointing that out by saying that I don't know for sure, and a lot of it too is speculation, which also is up in the air, so it's just kind of the punctuation of I am not aware of this as a true fact, I don't know. Just that kind of thing, in case anyone was annoyed by how often it came up. It was also said too when Team, Ranger or Junior, I don't know if they actually decided on one, they showed up to the village, especially after Jean talked it up and had that nostalgia going for him, and then it was just destroyed, and there seemed to be no survivors. We didn't really see them check too thoroughly. They saw the one guy, and then after that, it looked like they just left, so I hope no one is actually further into the village, but, it just kind of sucks when, there's nothing you can do, even though you've done nothing wrong. It's lost. And it really is the sad thing, like I said during the video, tragedy kind of begets tragedy, where, something relatively small can happen, but if it causes enough panic or fear or anger or whatever, all those negative emotions just lure Grimm, and then the more Grimm show up, the higher those negative emotions, grow, or the stronger they grow, and then it just could be, this kind of domino effect, and it's quite terrible. So, I definitely felt for the team there, but sometimes there's nothing you can do. Nothing else that happened in the episode is really jumping to mind. So it was good to see again where the characters are, especially in this one we got to see Weiss and what she's up to now, and I'm glad she's okay. She's reconnecting a bit with her family and is kind of just forced right back into that sort of, polite atmosphere, or, they're not really nice necessarily, but just polite, like outwardly so. And it's all very formal and whatnot. But she at least seems to be doing well enough. And then we get to see more, of course, of Team Ranger. I'm just probably gonna call him that until I get corrected, I guess. But corrected by the episode, mind you, like further episodes. But yeah, I don't know if I missed anything. I hope I didn't miss anything. If I did miss stuff, then I'll talk about it at the beginning of the next episode. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this episode in the comments below, whether you liked it, whether you disliked it, what you thought about this or that, etc., and so on and so forth. And I guess since this could, you could be watching this in the future, don't leave comments about spoilers, please. We want to avoid spoilers in the comments because even if I've seen every episode, that's been released, even, past this one, that doesn't mean that everyone watching this has, and so I don't want people to stumble upon spoilers in the comments and just have something ruined for them. So please avoid spoilers, but let me know what you thought and whatnot, and that's totally fine. But with that, we're calling it here. Cue outro, go!